distinguished comrades, nationalists, representatives of sovereign nations, and of course our hosts. We are deeply honored to be here with you today. For years, the people of our continent were told that surrender was compromise, that humiliation was diplomacy, that occupation was peace. And now we see the final result. The mondialist order no longer hides its intentions. It no longer speaks the language of partnership. It speaks the language of submission. Every nation must obey. Every culture must dissolve. Every institution must kneel. And anyone who resists is isolated, demonized, and broken apart from within. We once believed alien domination arrived through armies alone, but modern empires no longer require invasion. They install obedient governments. They corrupt institutions. They replace national elites with administrators loyal to outside interests. And so nations begin collapsing without a single shot being fired. Today, our homeland stands at precisely such a moment. The regime in Belgrade speaks constantly about stability, EU integration, normalization, and progress. But behind these carefully rehearsed words hides something much darker: the slow liquidation of national sovereignty. For over a decade, the government has systematically dismantled every institution that is connected to our people in the occupied Kosovo and Metohija to the rest of the nation. Courts disappeared, police structures vanished, telecommunications were surrendered, energy infrastructure handed over, banks closed, civil administration dissolved, and now even the universities and hospitals stand on the edge of extinction. The people are told that this is a compromise, but compromise does not erase nations' existence. The people are told that this is necessary for peace, but peace without dignity is only managed defeat. Today, Serbian citizens in their own ancestral lands are treated as foreigners unless they accept the documents of the Albanian occupiers and their authorities. Our well-known Islamic terrorists, organ traders, church burners, and servants of every mondialist master, thus the most faithful servants of the American globalist policies in Europe. The Serbian professors, doctors, teachers, and families who serve their communities for generations are now expected to ask permission simply to remain in their own homes. And the regime celebrates this as a diplomatic victory. This is institutional surrender disguised as administration. The mondialist system understands something very well. A nation does not disappear only when its borders falling. A nation disappears when its memory disappears, its school disappears, when its language disappears, when its children grow up under foreign institutions and foreign narratives, aided by the iron claw of the New World Order. That is how civilizations are erased in modern age. Through gradual normalization of humiliation. And while this is happening, the media remains silent. The international organizations applaud stability, and the ruling party repeats the same empty slogans about coexistence and modernization. My dear comrades, this is not merely a regional issue. This is a part of a larger global transformation. Across the world, independent nations are pressured to abandon identity, tradition, sovereignty, and historical memory. Governments that resist are destabilized. Leaders who refuse obedience are removed. Entire societies are reshaped through economic dependency, political pressure, and cultural engineering. The most tragic of all is the rise of the infantile and childish obsession among many European nationalists, led by the strange obsession of the misuse symbolism, makeups, and decorations, like they're the main indicators of the ideological profile, hardened by the truth and the idea that we all cherish in life. This obsession is immaturity, and in the age of the post-truth is stripping them of all features that made them nationalists. They become direct servants of the New World Order, even openly or shamefully supporting organizations that the most prominent figures of our movements detested in their prime. Thus, we see once respected movements praising mondialist European Union, even NATO, hiding their cowardice behind imaginary threats, while being completely blindsided by the real threat and by permitting themselves to be the puppets of the internal mondialists. In all cases, they are giving their energy and even their lives in the service of the mondialism. As our population is being changed, so the very pillars of the nationalist ideology is infested with a foreign tissue. And behind all of this stands the same ideological machinery. The belief that history, nations, and spiritual traditions must all be replaced by a centralized global system. Nationalism, without a Christian spiritual thread or its values, is an empty shell, depleted of any deeper understanding of the complicated and multidimensional problems. The internal mondialists want a world where truth is manufactured. But no propaganda system survives forever, no occupation remains internal, and no regime built upon betrayal escapes judgment forever. And so I say to you, do not accept humiliation as a peace, do not confuse silence with stability, do not mistake occupation for coexistence. Thinking and talking about our challenges and hard times on these events tends to leave us in the kind of despair and bitterness. But let's not despair, because the Christ is risen and he is truly risen. So the victory is already ours. If we endure until the end, we will meet our triumph with its true glory. I salute you all. Long live the Europe of the nations. Merci.